So I will summarize the whole thing in one crude statement, and it's really coming from the perspective of the digital therapeutic manufacturers in general, in that the US is leading the EU when it comes to the regulatory process. But when it comes to reimbursement, the EU is far ahead of the US. And that's not to say that one is good or bad. I know there is very thorough rationale for why the EU regulatory process is the way it is. It's just from our perspective, when it comes to navigating through all of these different challenges, the US is a little bit easier from a regulatory standpoint. And the reason for that is that if you think about a pharmaceutical drug, you have to establish all of the clinical trial and the evidence before you're given the authorization to launch. Whereas in the US, the digital therapeutics, they're treated more like medical devices, in that if there is a predicate product that generally has low risk, then you have the ability to seek FDA clearance and not a full approval. So you get a clearance, and then you're free to market the product, unless you want to make very specific claims that were not in the predicate product to begin with. So in that case, you do need to demonstrate that the proof of burden is there on you first, right? Now, again, also, if you have a product that is de novo, that there is no predicate product in the market, then you do have a longer process in the US, but there are ways. So at least there are options, right, in the US. In the EU, and I'm not an expert on the EU regulatory process, but I do know that there are more stringent requirements for data privacy. And additionally, with the MDR process, all digital therapeutics are going to be classified in at least at a minimum of class 2A, which means that a notified body needs to be able to review your application.